Okay, guys. Well, we just did a video review. We're bored, a little drunk,
A little
so
drunk? Bullshit.
okay, maybe a little more than drunk.
We're kidding. Charcoal Trio does not endorse the use of any illegal substances,
This is true.
especially weed. It'll ruin your hookah.
It does. It does. My friend tried putting it in my bowl. I smacked him. So, since this
Good for
is
you.
a rant
Good
video,
for you.
this is merely a rant video. So we're gonna start ranting on. So the first
Wait. FYI for all of our wonderful, loved viewers, we were smoking Magnus, Kaluma Moon Hose, and Starbuzz Pomegranate. You should watch that video. It's very good.
It is. So, since it's a rant video and the subject just kind of came up, we're going to discuss people smoking weed. And marijuana in general.
Okay. This is a bit of a
Tender subject?
very tender subject for many viewers. My parents. I don't think they'll find this though.
Thing with marijuana smoking, I think it's far too demonized by our culture. I think that the view of marijuana smokers is far too demonized by our culture. And I think
It's the whole lazy stoner stereotype, and the media does nothing to help this. The media often portrays stoners or users of marijuana as really lazy, stupid people who get taken advantage of and
just
can't
eat.
handle their lives, basically.
And this is far from the truth. One of my best friends smokes a lot. Every day, multiple times a day. And this person has a perfectly good life.
Functional. This person is going through college.
And as
fairly well.
as far as all of my friends, this person uses the most drugs, only marijuana, but uses the most drugs and is the farthest in life compared to any of us.
Well, this person is also a little older than we are.
She and I are actually just only a few months apart. And then you're the youngest, but it's okay. We all have to graduate high school, so it's all okay.
The thing is, though, a lot of people who do end up using marijuana, especially teenagers, do not help the bad stereotypes. They are just fucking stupid about it. They go hit their bongs and are like, "Hey, look at me, I'm hot," or like, "Dude, I'm so fucked up."
We have a
Oh my
friend
God.
who I really dislike. It's one of Jeff's friends, not mine. I'm just forced to be around him sometimes. If he like, dude, I'm high, and I hate him. He's obnoxious, and that's one of the reasons. He's thoroughly obnoxious. And it's people like that that give such a bad stereotype. Neither of us use, but
We use legal substances.
actually, International Oddities is a very, very great line of products of legal substitutes for marijuana, and they're fantastic. I particularly very much care for them.
Me too.
So
We endorse them.
we do endorse them. Unfortunately, we are not endorsed by them, though we should be. The other issue I have with the marijuana is the legalization of marijuana. I think it should be legalized.
I definitely agree. There are so many benefits that we haven't gone into that the government refuses to go into of medicinal marijuana, byproducts of the cannabis plant, which the cannabis plant can provide enough biomass to like pretty much save our energy crisis if you burn it or process it into different forms. We would have it's a really, really, really great resource alone, and the government refuses to partake in cultivation of it. And it's really not that big of a deal. I mean, lots of people can use it and have nice, normal lives, but it's the few who don't who tend to ruin it for everybody else. And I don't know.
Also, like you're saying, though, like the few who ruin it, that makes me think more of like alcohol with AA. With alcohol being legal, you like there's drunk drivers, there's all these issues. You never hear The guy was so high that he couldn't control his driving, and he drove into a tree.
You know, if you're high, you're not gonna make it to your car. I mean, not unless there's some reason where you really have to go. It's too much of a challenge. Like,
White Castle.
uh, I mean, it's just no. You're just gonna like sit there, and I mean, a lot of people do have problems with it. Like one of my best friends, he got really addicted to this stuff to the point where he had to go into rehab and treat, and is still going through a lot of shit with it.
Which brings to the other issue of the sober kids. Sober
Oh.
kids is a term that we use for people our age who have gone through bad experiences with drugs and
in most cases, treatment.
most all cases treatment. And then they go about pronouncing themselves, because they're sober, as being far superior to everyone else. When in reality, these kids are very easily agitated. They smoke cigarettes like they're candy because they need to feed a new addiction. They needed a new addiction, so they started smoking cigarettes more. Or they start drinking coffee, and they are broken.
They're absolute elitists. They only really like to be friends with each other, and they only really like to have relations with other sober kids. They pass it off as like, oh, we only want to hang out with people who know what we've been through. But that's the whole point. It's like with drug addiction, you're trying to overcome all of the negative aspects of it, and after you've overcome it, then you should really be able to be around normal people who function in normal lives. And even if they do use drugs, they can't go about ignoring them. Like, they're just trying to shut off everybody who uses drugs
And then
not talk to them.
it brings up the question, though, because if you truly overcome addiction, you can be around it. If you're like, no, I'm not addicted to weed anymore. What, you smoke weed? I can't be around you. Because I might use.
Then you really haven't overcome it.
You're just ignoring it and trying to hide from it. You're not over it. If you can't be in the same... Like our friend that we were talking about, he used to smoke weed quite a bit. He has never been a drinker, but on my birthday party, I'm a scotch man. I like having scotch. I wanted him to come over. Me and my friends, Jeff was there. We were smoking cigars and drinking scotch. He's like, will there be any drinking or drugs? I said, no drugs, but we're going to have scotch. He's like, no, I will not be there. I'm like, well, why? Because it's bad influence, and I don't want to get myself in a situation where I might abuse substances. We're sipping scotch. There's 5 of us.
We're not getting drunk. We're just relaxing. Really.
There was 5 of us. We were sipping scotch. We had a liter. There was enough for 1 glass for all of us, and we all have decently high tolerances to alcohol, so it's not an issue.
But I don't know. I absolutely admire people wanting to create such a positive change in their lives, and
It's a very good thing.
It's a great thing. I mean, people who improve their lives, like who really see where they are and what they can do to change how fucked up their lives have been, and basically just try to create a positive change in their lives for themselves. I absolutely admire that, but not to the point of demonizing everybody else who uses, basically, as they put it.
And we're approaching the end of the video because of YouTube's limited time, so I just want to bring up one other little fact that bothers me. If someone's an alcoholic and they quit drinking, or someone's like a pothead and they are a stoner and they quit smoking weed, then people go, you quit? That's fantastic! This is such a good thing! You're gonna be such a better person! Whereas if someone's addicted to cigarettes, they're like, good, you quit smoking. It's a horrible, horrible thing. And you know what? That's just pacifying a culture that is saying smoking cigarettes kills more than people who smoke weed. It's because the chemicals in cigarettes compared to the chemicals in traditional THC plants, such as cannabis, that...
There are no other traditional THC plants.
Yes, there are. That it really bothers me how they're going so far to please these people that did fuck up their lives, and they did mess this up. And we have 8 seconds left, so stay smoky, guys.
Stay smoky.